takes such resilience to just be a farmer, but imagine having to be a farmer and being a refugee. We're going to hear a story of that type of resilience from a peer teacher from all farmers, Hem Bujo.
Namaste, good afternoon. I was born in a small village in Bhutan. Farming was the main source of food and income in our family. The main food crops that we grow in Bhutan were paddy, millet, wheat, corn. The cash crops were ginger, jute, tapioca, fruits and vegetables. We also reared animals like cows, oxen, goats, pigs, poultry, which we used to earn cash. I was inspired in farming by my parents right from my childhood when I was in primary school. It was interesting to work with my parents and elders in my field. I used to follow my dad when he was plowing the land with oxen, and I loved digging and sowing seeds. As I grew up, I could do most of the farming activities. In high school, we used to farm vegetables and flowers once a week as part of our studies. When I was 18 years old, there was a political agitation in Bhutan. The main cause of the political conflict was that we, the people living in the southern part of Bhutan, were of Nepali origin. We have our own culture, language, tradition, and dress, but the government forced us to follow their culture, tradition, and dress and language. The army force and wrongfully arrested people, including my dad. The army even set fires to homes in our villages until we are forced to leave the country and go to Nepal. At that time, I had been for a job in the capital city, Thimphu. I didn't even know my family had left our village, and I met them on the way home before the bus stop while traveling home. It was a big surprise. For the next 20 years, I and my family lived in the refugee camp. We had a very miserable life, sheltering under a plastic roof, facing heavy temperatures and heavy storms, high temperatures and heavy storms. I also did backyard gardening in the refugee camp, which from where we produce vegetables that add to some extent to our food granted by the UN agencies. In 2008, we learned about a program that resettles refugees in different countries, and we were excited. My parents and my family arrived in Massachusetts, Westfield, Massachusetts in 2012. Life was challenging at the beginning. I had to learn new language and find work. I also had to learn how to drive and about American food habits. I didn't know about Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, and buffets. We miss some of our food from back home, but we didn't even know if we could do backyard gardening on our rental property. When the landlord allowed us to farm, we were so happy. We started growing vegetables in the backyard, importing seeds from Nepal and Bhutan. I felt proud in 2020 when I could buy a house with a big backyard. I I continued farming, naming it Dukyul Farm. The name translates to mean the land of dragon or Bhutan farm. By farming, we get our own organic food and earn some income from it. I also sell some of my products in the community market and even out of state. It was around 2022 that I became a peer teacher with All Farmers. This is an organization in Springfield that supports refugee and immigrant farmers. With All Farmers, I learned different farming skills, new techniques, attended workshops that helped me a lot on my farm and shared farming ideas among our community members. When I tried to schedule appointments with my elders, they put me off saying later, that is in the beginning. But there is one big difference in farming here. In Bhutan and in the refugee camps, people did not do budgeting and record keeping. We farmed with whatever we had available, which was very little. Through All Farmers, we taught community farmers how to earn more money with better budgeting and record keeping. This impressed our community farmers, and they suddenly started calling for home visit appointments. Today, I feel proud to be able to teach our community farmers the new techniques as they taught me farming as a young boy back in Bhutan. Thank you all listening my stories. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Hem.